All of this solar stuff and electrical work has brought me a lot of memories of my chief junior electrician on our last project, Katriel.
Well, I gotta say, this is pretty impressive, and it looks a whole lot more organized than it did when I was about 13 years old back in Carmel.
Yeah, so we did a house remodel in Carmel. By the way, this is my daughter, our daughter, Katriel, and she did a lot of our electrical work when she was 13 years old in Carmel.
I can't say it was what a lot of my peers were doing on the weekends, but it worked.
Yeah, and once you got to where you could do it on your own, it was kind of rewarding to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of cool, especially when we put that little shed on our Carmel house that some people might remember from back in the day. I think I did most of the outlets in that shed, and that was really cool that I could walk in there and say, I did that.
Yeah, and once I taught you how to do it, I tried to just leave you alone and let you do it, and you felt like you had a sense of accomplishment.
I do have to tell on you for one thing, though. One day, we were still redoing the house, and I started to wire something up on top of a wall. I was already sitting up there, I was up the ladder, and Dad says, I've turned the breaker off, but I gotta go see the neighbor. And so I'm working there, and suddenly sparks fly and my hair sticks straight up. So you turned off the breaker, but the wrong one. And after that, my fee to do electrical work kind of went up a little bit.
Your fee to do it?
Yeah, I required danger pay.
Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. Your motivation kind of went the other direction, though.
Exactly, I needed to be financially motivated.
Now, that's been a few years ago. You were 13 when we did that, and then about 16 or 17 when we built that shop. People still ask about what you're doing. Are you out of school yet?
Yes, I graduated with my master's in 2022, and I've been working in DC in the ag world ever since.
So a lot of people see, when they watch your videos, they still see you as 16, 17 years old. When I say you're out of school and you're married, they're like, no, it can't be.
I know, I don't want to make anyone feel old, but I'm 28 now.
Makes me feel old.
Yeah. Makes me feel old too. I used to wear flip-flops all the time on the channel, and I can't do that now because my feet are too cold. That's what makes me feel old.
Yeah, I mean, that is a change, isn't it? All the things you made fun of us for.
I'm coming around. I see what's going on now.
So you got your master's, and after you got your master's in 22, you went to work for the government.
Well, I worked for Land O'Lakes for a bit first.
That's right.
And then I decided I wanted to do a little something more technical, so I worked with USDA and trade. And then recently I moved to a dairy industry association doing economics.
Okay, what's the name of this dairy industry association?
So it's National Milk Producers Federation, and so
That sounds important.
yeah, we are, I think, the largest representation for dairy farmers in DC. What we do is when farmers or cooperatives have questions, we're able to kind of crunch the numbers behind the scenes from both dairy data and sort of broader economic data and help provide some insights that can help them make better decisions.
Okay, so you like represent all the dairy farmers, you represent them to government entities or something?
Technically our members are cooperatives.
Okay.
So large groups of dairy farmers work with National Milk to help them communicate some of the challenges that they're facing to their representatives. So about 24 US states have a large enough amount of dairy farmers that it's a significant amount of their economy.
Wow.
And every state has 2 senators that cover the whole state. So right there, you've got almost half of senators that really care about dairy farming.
Or should care.
And should care. And for the others that maybe don't have such a strong dairy presence, I mean, almost all of us are dairy consumers in some way, shape, or form. I mean, you love cheeseburgers, and the key ingredient in that is cheese.
Exactly. Cheese, butter, sour cream.
Yogurt, maybe that's not quite as big for you.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
You've only been at this National Milk for a few months, but what's the situation like in dairy farming?
Well, you know, it's pretty tough for dairy as it is for kind of all commodities across the U.S. Milk prices are kind of going down after they were a little bit higher earlier in the year. But the beef market has been able to support incomes a little bit.
Hold it. This is dairy. My understanding is that dairy cows are a totally different breed than beef cows. So how is the beef market helping the dairy industry?
Well, in order to produce milk, cows have to have calves.
Okay.
So we're able to use beef genetics with dairy cows that allows dairy farmers to produce cows that can be marketed on the beef market.
So basically you breed the dairy cow with a beef bull, and so you end up with a half beef calf.
Yeah.
And they can sell that calf for feeder calf or eventually for beef. Those prices are pretty high because we're desperate for beef at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at the grocery store, price of ground beef, at least in DC, is almost $9 a pound or something like that.
Yeah, beef is been in the news, I mean, because of just a bunch of struggles in the beef industry, and beef prices are really high. There's beef cattle count is down for some reason. I can't say I fully understand all that, but
Well, one thing I learned from watching you and Uncle Tom and all on the farm for years is that farming is always tough in different ways, season to season.
it is.
And for beef farmers, they've got some challenges that row crops aren't facing, and dairy's got different challenges, and you know, things are tough for everyone. But at least in dairy, we're just glad that that's a little bit of a bright spot for now.
Okay, so the result is, I mean, milk prices and all are so low that it would be really, really tough for dairy farmers, but they've got this little bit of a bright spot because they can sell these young calves for pretty good money right now.
That's essentially the situation, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is all well over my head. I really don't, I don't have hardly any experience. You know, we went to the Netherlands and we had some video of a couple of milk producers there in the Netherlands, and that was kind of fascinating to me at the time, but that's really my only experience.
Well, you know, it's kind of fascinating. Obviously, I didn't grow up on a dairy farm, and I did have some exposure to row crops, but yeah, I ended up with Land O'Lakes for a couple internships, and then we got to see that dairy farm in the Netherlands. I got to see one in Malawi in Africa. Yeah, I've just ended up kind of around dairy for a lot of my education and professional life in a way that I didn't really expect, but I really enjoy it because of the complexity.
And here I was hoping you would be a Tractor Time with Tim permanent edition.
Well, look, if you want to move the operation out to DC, then maybe we can talk about that. My rate's gone way up now, though. Whenever I start saying DC, that's usually when people start backing away.
Yeah, I don't think I'm really interested in living in DC.
That's all right.
But you love it.
Yeah, I really do. I think there's something about being able to live in DC and work on agriculture that's a really good mix for me, because I get the day-to-day of being in the big city, but then I still get to talk about farmers and commodity prices and all that good stuff.
Have you wired an outlet since you were 17?
You know, I can't say that I have, but I have fixed several breaker outages when I lived abroad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you were kind of the electrical expert among your peers.
Well, I would like to say that it was really some feat, but it was really just, oh no, the breaker switched off, let me go get in the breaker box and turn it back on.
You know, that kind of brings up an interesting point to me, though, is it doesn't take an enormous amount of education to provide confidence on something like that, does it?
Yeah.
And without just a little bit of exposure, a little bit of, you know, dad education, you're really scared of stuff.
Yeah.
Just being shown what a breaker box is, shown it with the cover off, and shown how the wires work and everything, and it really provides a lot of confidence and can help you with some day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the coolest things about growing up around you is you were always doing stuff yourself, and so even if I didn't do it all myself, I still kind of saw that this is how you would set up a breaker box. This is how you would replace the flooring in your home. This is how you would go about doing a renovation or something like that, that makes these things that I think for a lot of people feel kind of too big to even...
Magical, almost.
Yeah, like you couldn't possibly approach it yourself. It almost makes it feel a little more approachable.
Yeah, and even if you choose not to do it yourself, if you have someone else tackle the project, it helps you to understand what that's going to be if they do it.
Yeah. And I know you've been talking a lot about DIY recently, and we were kind of chatting this while I've been here for Christmas, that I think DIY is something that people are kind of looking to get back into because they've been on their screens so much.
Oh, you think that's it?
Yeah, I think people are kind of tired of being on the phone.
Yeah, just scrolling on your phone all the time.
Or maybe watching too much YouTube. I don't know.
No, that's impossible.
With the exception of Tractor Time with Tim, of course. That's good quality content.
But I see what you're saying. It's this feeling of accomplishment you get with any sort of DIY, and it may not be out in the shop. You're doing some other stuff, like making candles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I tried my hand at that. Well, and there's some other things, just kind of normal life stuff that, we'd be interested in doing just kind of around our apartment, even though we can't do much with it. But, you just kind of get the confidence to go in there and figure out what you want and make it happen.
You still get that reward, that personal rewarding feeling of, hey, I did this myself, even if it costs more than buying something. Well, I mean, we did that when you were a kid. We grew our own potatoes.
Oh, I loved that.
It probably cost us 100-fold what it cost to buy potatoes at the store, but it was an enormous amount of fun.
And we've tried growing some herbs in our apartment. And
how's that gone?
I can't say it's gone great, but we're still tinkering with it, and we'll get it figured out.
Just a little bit of an update here on our electrical project here. We have all the solar working. This one's dedicated to the shop. This one's dedicated to the house. We have a battery on each of them. We haven't had a sunny day since we've had it working. But we're still generating a little bit of solar power, enough maybe to charge the batteries and then they go down overnight. But we have it all hooked up. We even have this box hot. I don't know if that's legal or not because I haven't had approval on an inspection yet.
Yeah.
But we're not using it. Everything is off except for I think I've got 1 or 2 circuits on, one that helps power the solar and one for some lights out in the main shop. So, we're being very judicious about how we use it until I get it more tested and all that. But it is working. Huge reward. Probably the biggest reward for me so far in this whole project. I mean personal feeling of, accomplishment that we've had in this entire project.
Well, it's kind of fun to see in person, not through the videos. You can kind of really tell what really excites you sometimes. And I don't think we were here for more than half an hour before you had the app on your phone showing us how much energy you were producing, and that's really cool.
Yeah, but it was kind of disappointing when Christy turned on the blow dryer and she was consuming more than our entire...
I think you better just keep quiet about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christy and Brandon, why don't we get them in here and wish everybody a Happy New Year.
All right.
Christy, that hat. I love that hat.
I like my hat too.
I was wearing a hat and I got told I had to take it off.
Yeah, but it wasn't as cool a hat as Mom's.
Not all of us can have as cool of a hat as Mom.
I mean, do you guys think Christy's hat's cool?
I'll get you one next year.
All right.
I love this hat. Brandon, you don't need a hat like that.
No, I think I need a hat like that.
Yeah, like this?
Yeah.
Well, we might be able
Yeah.
to take care of that, Brandon. That
Exactly.
that would be good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is just a little bit of an update. Katriel, it's been a long time. I think we've even missed update videos the last couple of years, so it's been a long time. Landscape project was the last thing we did. That's when we
Yeah,
introduced
Mother's Day.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, landscape project. And that's been the only time in maybe 2-3 years.
I've been too busy having fun.
Yeah, either that or she's been holding out for higher wages somehow. I'm sure she's negotiating somehow.
I'm trying to get your cat right now. I don't know how that's going to go.
We might let you have the cat.
We'll keep arguing about that. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on
Tractor Time with Tim.
You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness.
And Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year!
Can't remember, did we?
That was good though. All your brain power went into the solar.